Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Catherine Shelton and today I wanted to make a video to walk through the process of creating a new custom interior for your KDP book using PowerPoint. Now, I must admit before we get going that I'm a bit of a Mac girl, so my preference is actually for Keynote, and I have created another video if you want to be walked through this process using Keynote. But I know many of you are on a Windows machine or another machine that doesn't have access to Keynote. So I want to show you that it can totally be done in PowerPoint. You can create your book interiors in PowerPoint. So I've got my stress ring on. We can do this. So before I get started, I know the first question you might say is like, why would you use PowerPoint to make a book? Like, isn't PowerPoint the thing that we put on a projector when we have to sit in a boring meeting and watch slides going by? Yes, it is. But two things that are really cool about PowerPoint, Keynote, and Google Slides is that they, first of all, allow you to create the slides in any size that you like. They allow you to create a custom size. So what that means is you can turn your slides into pages and make those page sizes fit with KDP's supported sizes. So this is really cool. You can basically create pages that match KDP's page sizes. The second thing is they allow you to export to PDF. So as long as you have a tool that will do those two things, create custom page sizes and export to PDF, you can create your interior with it. So that allows you to make interiors with PowerPoint, Keynote, and as I say, I've made another video using Keynote or Google Slides. You can also use tools like Microsoft Word, Publisher. You can even use Affinity Publisher. That's a big popular tool. There's Inkscape, Scribus, like there's a whole bunch of tools that will allow you to export to PDF. But PowerPoint, Keynote, Google Slides make it very, very easy. So let's get started with PowerPoint. Okay, so let's expand the screen slightly and jump right in with PowerPoint. So the first thing we're going to do, super easy, we're going to click into a blank presentation. And the first thing you're going to need to do is set your custom size to the size of the book you want to create. So the way you do that is you go to File and you go to Page Setup. And PowerPoint makes it really easy for you because it actually has the size in inches. Keynote makes you convert it into points, which I actually explain how to do in our Keynote video. But with PowerPoint, you can just set it up in inches. So for example, if we wanted to make an 8.5 by 11 book, we can literally just put those numbers in there and make the page that size. Now, before you jump in and do that, I should say that that is the size you are creating if your book has no bleed. Now, I know bleed is like one of these sticking points for a lot of people. I say, well, what does bleed mean? How do I know if my book needs bleed? Well, bleed basically means if you have a book like this one, for example, that has lined pages which are going all the way to the edge there. You can see these go all the way to the edge. This would need bleed. Because what bleed means is that it puts extra space on your book where Amazon's cutters can like chop around the edge of the book. And you want to make sure that your lines go all the way to the edge, that there's plenty of sort of leeway for their cutters so they don't cut too soon and leave white space around the edge of your books. So basically, bleed just adds a little bit extra to your page that Amazon know they can cut safely. Now, this is a book that wouldn't have bleed. It's a planner because it has white space around the edge. So a book like that, if you were creating that from scratch, typically that would not need bleed. So you would be fine using these dimensions, the 8.5 by 11. But if your design is going off the page, if maybe you've used a color background, if you've got a color background going all the way off the page, you will need bleed. If you're doing lines that go all the way to the edge, you will need bleed. The other reason you might need bleed is if you want to merge in tangent templates, because all of our templates are created with bleed. So those are the two reasons. If you're going to do a design that goes off the edge of your page, or if you want to merge in tangent templates, then you will need to add bleed to these numbers. If not, you're just going to leave them as they are, 8.5 by 11. So what I want to do with this, I actually do want to add in some bleed because I want to have the option of adding in tangent templates. So I'm going to add a little bit of bleed to these dimensions. And you have to be specific with these. So if you were in tangent templates or our Halloween KDP class, we've actually made this really, really easy for you. We've created a tool that will tell you the dimensions, including the bleed. So for example, here you can go to interior. For an 8.5 by 11 inch book, you can see that the interior size should be 8.625 by 11.25 if you're adding in bleed. Now, if you're not using tangent templates, you can remember this easily because you just need to add a 0.125 to the width and 0.25 to the height. And the reason for that, Amazon actually tell you that the bleed should be 0.125 all the way around the book. So basically, if you're making bleed, you need to add 0.125 of an inch to the edge, to the top, and to the bottom. And so in practice, what that means is you have to add 0.25 to the height because it's 0.125, 0.125. So you're adding those together, so you're adding 0.25. And for the external edge, you're adding 0.125. So I'll show you how that works. We'll go back to our PowerPoint file and we're going to add to the width, we're just going to add 625. So that's actually 8.5 plus 0.125. And to the height, we're going to add 0.25. So it kind of makes sense. PowerPoint does round it up, but that won't cause you any problems. It just rounds it up because it doesn't understand that 0.05. So that's fine. So this is the dimensions in PowerPoint with bleed. If you don't need bleed, just do 8.5 by 11. Okay, so this you can ignore. We're just going to say scale up. It doesn't really matter because we're starting from scratch. We're going to create sort of new blank pages. And this, I hate this click to add title, click to add subtitle. So I'm just going to add a new slide there. I'm going to do a new slide and I'm just going to make it blank so I can get rid of this one because I don't want to deal with the click to add title, click to add subtitle. So the first thing I recommend you do when you create your PowerPoint document is that you go into view and you make sure the ruler is switched on. You can see there I already have my ruler on. So switch on your ruler. And I also like to have the guides because I find that if you have the guides, it makes it a lot easier to design. You can see the center of your page and also the dynamic guides help you out. So give yourself help by having those enabled. Now, the next thing we're going to do is think about margin. So when you're designing your interior, you do need to be aware that you should leave some space for a margin. So for example, with this book, nothing goes further than sort of this edge here. And you want to leave margin because it will give the printers some space to cut around the edge of your book so nothing gets chopped off. Now, KDP actually give you some advice with margins. If you go to this link here, it tells you how much margin you should leave in your interiors. So they talk about the inside margin. This is the inside down the gutter. It's called the gutter of the book. And they advise this 0.375 inches if you have a low page count. The higher your page count, the more space you need to leave. Now, if you are creating a full spread that goes all the way across, like for example, with this line book, the lines go all the way across the book. For this, you probably wouldn't want to leave a margin on the inside because those lines are supposed to go all the way through. Now, the outside margins, you basically don't want to put anything important that could go out here. So you do have the bleed space. The bleed space can get chopped. So you want to make sure that you don't have anything that can get chopped off. So bleed and margin, two different things. But fortunately, KDP makes it really easy for you. It just tells you how much space to leave. So just follow this suggestion and it will be really easy for you. If you're using tangent templates, we've actually given you the exact margin you need. So you don't even have to refer here. You've got all the dimensions you need right there. So in practice, what this means is we need to leave a 1/4 of an inch. Actually, we're doing with bleed, so we need to leave about 0.375 of an inch. So just think about it as being just under 1/2 an inch. And if you have the guides set up here, you can pretty much eyeball it, sort of what's about 1/2 an inch, probably about this space. So I wouldn't put anything in this outer space here where it could get chopped off or cause problems with the KDP reviewer. So we're basically going to be wanting to work in this space on right-hand pages and in this space with left-hand pages. Cool. Okay, so let's start designing our journal. So what I want to do is create a dream journal. I think that'd be a really fun, simple project to do. So the first thing we're going to do is jump in and put the fields in that we're going to want in our journal. So let's think about this. What would we need in a journal? So let's go to the insert menu and we're going to start adding some text. So I think the first thing we're going to put in here is maybe a date. What do you need to know when you're having dreams? You probably want to know the date that you had the dream. Then I'm just going to copy this box here and start a new one here. Let's call it waking time, because you're not really going to know sort of what time your dream started. So we can do waking time if you woke up from it. Now, what else do we want to put? Let's maybe say what place we went to in our dreams. So we're going to bring this down a bit so we can see what we're doing. I got a new keyboard, so my typing is a little wonky. So let's do dream place. Cool. And let's do another one for who did we meet in the dream. So let's put people we met. Delete that. So we can bring this over here. We're also going to put what happened. So we can say what happened in the dream. I find it's always easier to sort of start with what you want on the page and then sort of think about the design later. What happened in the dream? Let's put a question mark on that. Make it a little bit bigger. Then we're going to do some notes. So you can put anything additional that happened in the dream. So let's put notes in here and bring that down over here. Cool. Okay, so we have sort of a starting idea for our dream journal. We're going to drag these around a bit. Okay, so I'm going to start with some simple lines. Lines are always easy to do. So for the date, let's put a line here. And let's put another line. We're going to make it black, actually. Let's do a black line. And then we're going to copy that and paste it in again to create the time. So let's move these over a little bit. And we can put the date, drag this up, drag the time up. And they should snap to alignment. So I will bring that out a bit. There we go, that looks nice. And that there. So you can see how they kind of automatically align themselves. Now for the other ones, let's put these in boxes. So I'm going to bring in, let's see, we'll put those there. Okay, so we want to start drawing in our shapes. We want to start drawing in our boxes. So we're going to go up to Insert and we're going to select Shapes and just pull in a regular rectangle. There we go. So we're going to add a rectangle for our dream place. And this is effectively going to be a text box. So we're going to check the shape format, double click that or right click that and say format shape. So the first thing you want to do is get rid of the fill. We want that to be transparent so that people can write in there. And if we want to put a colour behind this, then also the colour will show up in the text box as well. So I'm going to bring the width down to 0.5 points. You can go higher than that, obviously. You can go sort of a 1 point or 2 point, but we find that this stroke looks really nice at about 0.5. It looks quite professional when it's a bit thinner. When the lines start looking thick, they're a bit more suitable for kids, or perhaps not so much for adult journals and books. If you go below 0.5, it's possible that the stroke might be too thin and it won't print correctly on KDP. So around 0.5 we've found to be the sweet spot for most strokes on rectangles, boxes and lines. Okay, so let's just adjust that a little bit, and obviously we're going to make sure it's black. We want all the lines to be black. We don't want the colour sneaking in there. So now I'm just going to copy the box and drag that over to people I met in my dream. Now, what you can do is obviously make several template designs for yourself that you can reuse, reskin for different types of journals and books. So do think about that. You can use these designs over and over again. So I'm just putting in my notes box there, just pasting in these boxes. So as you can see, they do snap well to the guides, to the alignment, and you can really move them around pretty easily. So there we go. I'm just going to bring those up a bit more. Make sure you do have your margin space around the edges. And I'm going to just straighten these out a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at the font. You can go in and you can change the font, obviously, all of your text boxes. I'm putting Dream Journal up here at the top. I'm going to put this in as like a little text logo at the top of my page. Now, obviously, you want to think about this. If you're going to put a logo on every page, that might get annoying. You don't want to say Dream Journal on every page, but I'm going to show you how you can do this so it looks nice. I've put the cool font there. I really like that Bradley font. And let's tweak these a little bit and make sure these text boxes are in the right place. Okay, so I think it'd be cool to put an icon on this page. Give it something that makes it a little bit more interesting and sort of differentiates it. So I've been using images from the Noun project. I have checked with Noun project. I have emailed them specifically and said, I want to use your icons for print-on-demand books, and they've okayed that. So it's up to you. Check with them. Their licensing on their website is a little unclear, but I feel pretty happy using Noun project icons in my projects. So I'm going to bring in this dream catcher. That looks really cute there. I've just got to line it up a little bit more, straighten that out. Oops, I lost my proportions there. There we go. So let's bring that in. Cool, I really like that. So what I like about Noun Project, they have so many just very simple designs, and they look so professional and so well designed that you can really use them on all your projects and they look cool. So another thing I like to do with these guided journals is something fun, like putting a rating scale on them. With some of my Halloween ones, for example, I put like little skulls to do a scariness rating. Like you can colour in the skulls to say how scary something was. With this dream journal, I'm going to use these little emoji style icons, little happy faces from Noun Project, just to kind of give you a visual indicator of how your dream left you feeling, whether it was like a scary dream, whether it was a neutral dream, or whether it was a cool dream and you were like, whoa, that was an awesome dream. So, okay, there we go. Let's pull in the sad face there, and then we're going to add in the neutral. Of course, you can. So I want to make sure my width is the same on all of those. You can see as you drag it, the width and the height go up and down. We're going 0.58 to keep them all a uniform size all along. So we're just going to add in the happy face now. Okay, and there it is. We'll bring that down to the 0.58 as well. And we're just going to center those. Cool, I think that looks really good. I like it. Oh, there we go. Move him there. Awesome. So that's really the bare bones of our dream journal. Okay, so this is our completed journal, and I'm sure you can do all kinds of cool things to make your own journals, your own ideas. And all we have to do now is actually go in and duplicate these pages. So the way you do that is just literally right-click the slide, duplicate, duplicate. You can copy them as many times as you like. You can also, of course, fill in the gaps between them. So you can put in page 1 is like the dream journal page, and you can merge in bullet journal paper, you can merge in line paper, anything you like. You can also add cool backgrounds to your pages. So for example, here I'm doing a picture or texture fill. You can do colors, gradients, pattern fill, all kinds of things there. One thing to bear in mind with color is that the price of a color book is the same. Whether you do one colour picture or whether you put in a number of colour pages and full colour pages, they're all the same price. Amazon just charges you for a colour book. So if you want to put colour in, you can absolutely fill up the pages and not worry about that. Now, bear in mind that colour gets more expensive after 40 pages because they charge you 7 cents per page for a colour book after 40 pages. So my recommendation is use this for 1 month planners, that's a 30-day planner, or use it for simple short journals or books that are around 40 pages and not too much over that. So I'm just changing the gradient on this image here. You can play around with gradients and get a really cool effect with that, adding different colours. You can also put a solid colour in there as well. So experiment with it, get an idea for what looks cool. Okay, so let's take a look at how we would merge tangent templates into this. So we talked about adding in bullet journal paper, adding in line paper. I'm going to show you how to merge in dot grid paper. So you want to make sure that you have the right size. We're working in a letter sized page, the 8.5 by 11, and we just need 1 page of this. So there we go, I've downloaded it. There it is on my screen. Simple dot grid paper, the 8.5 by 11. And we're going to merge that into our planner. Now, we know that the planner is set up correctly. Remember, you need to have that bleed added in when you set up your page. And we did that correctly. And one bummer about PowerPoint is that it doesn't let you actually merge in a PDF. So what we need to do is convert this PDF page into a JPEG and pull that into our new book. So one way to do this, there's a lot of ways to convert a PDF to a JPEG. I have this free website I found online called pdf-to-jpeg.net. It's not very pretty, but it does the job. You literally just go in, you upload your PDF file, and it exports it to a JPEG for you. So here we go, we're going to click that. And there's our file, and you hit convert. Oh, excellent. We're going to make that excellent quality. You want to have the highest quality you can in your book. And we're going to hit the convert button. And it's really quick. There you go. Converting it as we speak. And in just a moment, there it is. We've downloaded the JPEG. So now all we need to do is go back and pull that JPEG into our book in PowerPoint. It's the right size. So I'm going to add a new blank slide, and I'm just going to drag in the JPEG, and hopefully there it is. It fits absolutely perfectly to the slide, and now we have a book that will alternate your dream journal pages with your dot grid pages. And now we can go in and we can tailor this. You can add your own colours and images to this. You can add borders. You can add icons. So I'm just going to put a little heart one on there. There we go. Just to show you how you can add your own pictures. So you can't edit the dots. You can't actually go in and remove the dots as you would be able to in Illustrator. But you can absolutely put white squares over them, cover them up, and add whatever extra details you want to those. Now I'm going to show you how to do this with a planner as well. So we're going to go in and open up, let's use the daily planner. And there you go, you can see when you're using tangent templates, you can scroll through the preview, see all the pages in there. And of course you can make whatever edits you want. You can change the font, you can change the size. So when you're doing this with a planner, what you'll have to do is actually bring in the planner pages one by one. There isn't an easy way to bring in the whole PDF into PowerPoint. But you can generate your planner with tangent templates and then convert each page of that PDF to a JPEG using the PDF to JPEG tool, and you can bring those into your book. And I mean, really, you only need to do this once. One thing you could do is set up your planner, download it, pull it into PowerPoint, and then you can save that as your template file to work with and just keep adding in your other designs to that. So you can add in your PowerPoint designs to that as well. So that's done. All that's left to do is hit the export button, and of course you can save this as a PDF. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to call it Dream Journal and hit the export button to save that.
Okay guys, that is it for creating your KDP Book Interior using PowerPoint. I do have another video if you're using Keynote, so do check that out if you prefer to use Keynote. I hope that was really helpful for you. If it was, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any of our other videos or tutorials that we make. Also, do check out Tangent Templates. It makes it really easy to create and upload books to KDP. And if you haven't, come and join our Facebook group as well. Alright guys, have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think.